Understanding your CRM system and how to use it is going to make you a better brand manager or marketeer immediately. So digital transformation and omnichannel are massive buzzwords right now. And let me tell you, if you don't know how to use your CRM or you don't know how it works, you're never going to understand omnichannel and you're never going to know how to get there. So I promise if you watch this video, you will understand CRM better. You'll have some practical examples of how to use it and how to actually implement omnichannel. And I promise when you watch the video, you're going to become a better marketeer overnight. Even better, in this video, there's going to be a section where you have a light bulb moment where you go, yes, I finally understand omnichannel. The first thing we need to understand is, what is a CRM? Well, CRM stands for Customer Relationship Management. So you have a CRM system or a CRM tool. So effectively, it's a tool that helps you build and maintain customer relationships. A lot of people think that CRM systems are just for sales teams, but that's not correct. If you're in a medical team, you're a brand manager or a marketer, then for sure you also want to build relationships, or at least your brand or your communication objectives are to build relationships and engagement with healthcare professionals. So you should also use this tool to help you build and maintain those relationships. There are a few important things to know about a CRM system, and here is the first. It's effectively a massive database where you can collect information about your customers. Once you collect that information, you can build a picture of them, and it helps you target them with relevant information or to have meaningful engagement with them to attract them into conversations. Let me give you an example. First, you need some important contact information, stuff like name, email address, place of work, job role. There's going to be loads of other things, but you need to get those essentials in place, and you can collect that information in fields in your CRM system. Secondly, there are things that help you with marketing or sales or communications. What is this person's priority goal in the management of their patients? What is the biggest challenge that they are currently facing? What level of adoption are they currently at with your brand? And what are their current objections to using your product or service? Okay, that's just some basics, probably the basic stuff that you want to get out of your customers to build a good picture of them. So let's say you want to have a conversation with Dr. Foster at the upcoming global conference that you're going to, and you've got all this information about Dr. Foster. You're going to have a much better chance of sending her a message or giving her a call and attracting her to a meaningful conversation about something that she's interested in, right? Okay, so here's the question. How do I get that information about Dr. Foster into my CRM system? Well, there's a few ways to do it. Let's start old school, and the way that most people will know. You just type it in. Let me show you an example of how that works. Okay, so I'm going to show you an example of how you can input the information. Just looking at my screen here, you can see my CRM system. Here I'm using HubSpot, but lots of CRM systems are the same. You can see here I can enter the email address manually, enter a phone number, that's mine, or Seven's obviously. You can choose who the contact owner is, so the salesperson, for example. Choose myself here. You can choose the lead qualification stage and whether it's status and stuff like that, however you want to organize your system. But here's the interesting fields that I talked about. So some examples, you might choose which region they're in, UK here, so say London hospital. What's their patient subgroup priority? Maybe you say it's going to be first line or second line patient, or it could be, you can choose multiple. Therapy area of interest, I've only just put one here, but let's say lymphoma. And then you can choose product objections. So you can list what you think the key objections may be to the product, and you might choose, so for example, this doctor here is, the testing process is too slow in order to use the product in time, and you're concerned about patient compliance for some reason. So there you go, you can enter the information manually, and you can also do things like record notes and calls and stuff like that about that individual. So that's how you enter the information manually. So inputting data manually is quite rudimentary. A more useful way for data to go in is if a customer or a prospect puts that information in directly via an interaction with one of your digital assets. So you can see on my screen right now, there's a demo page which we've set up, which shows a landing page which a healthcare professional might land on, having received a promotional email through a channel like Medscape or something like that, which you spend money on to attract people to your website. They've landed on this page, and what you want them to do is to interact with that page, capture their contact details and permissions so that you can continue to contact them. And so you capture their information, so you've got a lead right there, but also you might want to capture some other information so that lead capture is more relevant, say, for the sales force. So you land on the page, they see the new indication launch. Very exciting. There's a call to action here to access data, but you might have a video. This is a video of me, obviously, but you might have a video of a KOL explaining the data and why it's so exciting for healthcare professionals that this new indication has been launched. And there's some other information there, and then you've got a call to action here for the healthcare professional to explore the data further. But if you do a little bit of research, you know exactly what your audience would be interested in, some kind of resource for patients, for example, or a white paper or whatever else. Anyway, the idea is that they can fill in the information here. So I'll just go ahead and fill that in again. Institution name, I'll just put health, Dan at brandcasthealth.com. Right, so now you can see how we've included the fields in this form that you saw before in CRM. I've only included one here. You want to capture too much information, but therapy area of interest, you have a drop down to choose multiple things, but you can see here I choose lymphoma. And I would, I'm happy to. You can capture your kind of permissions here, and you can add all your wording and stuff that you need to put in for data capture. And you request the slide deck, and then you get a handy piece of information. The form submission was successful. Check your inbox for an email with the requested data attached. If you're looking for additional valuable information, so you can have another call to action that might drive to your kind of, your resource area. This is resource area on the Brandcast Health site, but you might have a resource area for your product. So you can see you can enter that information. And what I'm going to show you now is that information now recorded directly into the CRM system. So right, here we are back in the CRM system again in the back end this time. I deleted the old fields that I input manually, and now you can see that there's a little notification right here that says email was recently updated to Dan at brandcasthealth.com by a form submission. But you can see the therapy of area of interest was indeed updated to lymphoma. So you can see how that would be really useful to collect that information via a form. Now here's the omni-channel light bulb moment for you. That form does not just have to exist on the website, and actually these fields can exist separately in lots of different forms. So if you can imagine, I could take that very same form with the exact same information in, and I could put it on an exhibition stand. I can take that exact same form and I can embed it on an event registration page. No matter where the healthcare professional enters that their therapy area of interest is in lymphoma, it will still update this specific piece of information. So that is what omnichannel is. So the eagle eyes among you will have noticed something else here, which is the third important thing you need to know about a CRM system. It doesn't just collect data. Based on the interaction and the data that it's collected, it can also act on that if you create workflows. And some of you will have seen here, a marketing email was sent to Dan Bucklam. Sorry, I spelled my name wrong on that form. Marketing email was sent to me, your white paper from pharma. So because I entered that information, I was then actually sent an automated email. And I could be sent a different email depending on which therapy area I selected as my area of interest. So this is where you can see that you can start automating and creating a journey of relevance to that particular healthcare professional. So I'm going to show you right now what that journey looks like from my perspective receiving the email. Okay then, so here on my screen you can see the email. So hi Dan, here's your white paper on the challenges with referral in the UK for cellular therapies, a link to a white paper. If you'd like to discuss any of the details, don't hesitate to contact our expert team. Just note, this could be personalized. So I clicked on lymphoma, I could have clicked a different one. It can give me a different white paper demo. You got a link to that. So if I click that link, I'm taken off to a new tab where I can look at the white paper. In this case, it's a nice slide deck about Brandcast Health. Now let me show you the back end again and the information that's going to come through when you look at it. So you can see that this has been updated to show that actually I clicked through here. So it tells you in the CRM system everything that I clicked and everything I did, so you can see the history of when I submitted the form and everything like that. It's also worth noting that within the workflow, we've also triggered an alert for the rep to receive an email to say that one of their customers has interacted with the white paper email. So you can say here, I, as the contact donor, received an alert to say your customer or prospect has requested the SUMA 8 white paper. Please review your customer's activity via the link below. So they can then click through to the CRM system where they can see what's happened. So that's going to give me loads of information. I can now contact my customer, and I can ask them like, what did you think of the white paper? Would you like to discuss any elements of it? I've got some additional information to share that might help answer your questions, and that's going to be a much more relevant and valuable conversation. So this is basically it in HubSpot. It looks a bit different in other CRM systems, but it's the same concept. You can see you can trigger a workflow. It's nice and visual. You can see what happens if they interact, if they don't. You can see that you can have the rep alert. You can see that you can have some follow-ups and things like that. But you can program all sorts of journeys in, much more complicated than that if you like. You see, what did I tell you? Understanding CRM a little bit more really helps you build out an omni-channel strategy better. It helps you to think about the information that you need to capture from your audience to make your content marketing relevant. It also forces you to create content that's relevant for the audience based on the information that you've collected. And finally, it makes you think about a tangible journey where each asset, whether it's an email, a website, or a rep visit, has specific goals and they are all connected. You can connect them in the CRM and then you can connect them in your strategy. And it will really help you to become a better digital marketer and to develop your strategy in a more connected omni-channel way. I hope you enjoyed the video. For more education and resources on omnichannel, customer centricity, and digital marketing in pharma and the healthcare industry space, please visit our website, brandcasthealth.com, where you're going to find loads of resources just like this, and you can subscribe to our newsletter so you can get access to those resources right to your inbox. Feel free to follow me on LinkedIn, where I'm usually providing a lot of this information as well. My name's Dan Buckland. You can just search for me in the search bar and then follow me if you like my kind of content. Thank you so much for the support. As always, have a great day.